Hey everybody, I'm Chris.
And I'm Dan, and today we're going to be talking about God's kindness. Now, Chris, you've shared with us before about how you've been here and in other parts of the world, sharing God's loving kindness with kids who haven't really heard about Jesus.
Yeah.
How do they respond to that?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to go around the world and even in our own country and see that some people aren't feeling accepted, they don't feel loved. And when we show them Jesus' love, it really can bring them hope, and that can transform the way they see themselves as well as the world around them.
That is so good to hear. I think when we share God's loving kindness, we get to experience a joy that can really only come from God.
Yeah, for sure. I think the amount of fulfillment we feel is incredible once we show someone what Jesus' love is like. So let's watch today's God story and see what kindness looks like.
At what time of day did God create Adam? Just before Eve. Hey everybody, Liza here. Happy to be back again with you this week. I wanted to start by sharing a story with you about a time when I went out for dinner with my friends. And afterwards, we were out walking outside, and I must have dropped my wallet on the street because hours later when I got home, I went to look for it and I couldn't find it. I was so worried about all of my money and all of my cards. And actually, right as I was about to call and cancel my cards, my brother started shouting my name, Liza, Liza, look what I found in the mailbox. And sure enough, it was my wallet with a note attached. And the note said, Liza, I found your wallet on the street and wanted to return it to you. I was so surprised with this amazing act of kindness. I looked inside my wallet, all of the money was there, all of the cards were there. I was hoping that they would have left their name and number so I could call and thank them or give them a reward, but the person didn't need any thanking or any reward. They just wanted to do this incredible act of kindness for someone else. As we go through our everyday lives, it can become easy to just think about what we've got going on and just care for ourselves. But God's kindness looks beyond ourselves and wants us to show loving kindness to others. In today's story, we're going to hear about a very surprising act of kindness. And today's big idea is, we can show God's kindness. Today we are continuing our series on King David in the book of 2 Samuel. Last time we learned about how David became king of all of Israel and how he was so excited about God that he danced to celebrate and honor him. Now, in 2 Samuel 7, we learn that David has moved into his palace and God has given him peace and rest from his enemies. There was a prophet at that time named Nathan, and David trusted Nathan and kept him close to help him. David told Nathan that he wanted to build God a big house, a temple, so that God's presence could live there. But that night, God spoke to Nathan, and he told Nathan he didn't want David to build a big house for him. He told Nathan that he would make David famous. In fact, this is a part of what God told Nathan the prophet for Nathan to tell David. Someday your life will come to an end. You will join the members of your family who have already died. Then I will make one of your own sons the next king after you, and I will make his kingdom secure. He is the one who will build a house where I will put my name. I will set up the throne of his kingdom. It will last forever. I will be his father, and he will be my son. Your royal house and your kingdom will last forever in my sight. Your throne will last forever. Nathan told all of this to David, and David was so amazed by God's kindness to him and his family. David prayed a prayer of amazing thankfulness to God. What more can I say to you? Lord and King, you know all about me. You have done a wonderful thing. You have made it known to me. You have done it because that's what you said you would do. It's exactly what you wanted to do for me. David loved God very much, and God loved David very much and showed his loving kindness to David. One day, David asked if there was anyone left in Saul's family, and if there was, he wanted to meet them and show them great kindness because of how much he loved Saul's son, Jonathan. A servant from Saul's house, Ziba, told David that one of Jonathan's sons was still alive. Both of his feet were hurt and he couldn't walk, so King David had Mephibosheth brought to him. David said to him not to be afraid and that he will always be kind to him because of his father, Jonathan. David said, I'll provide you what you need. Mephibosheth was so surprised. He said, who am I? Why should you be so kind to me? Because of David's friendship with Jonathan, he wanted to make sure that he took care of Jonathan's family. And so he gave Mephibosheth many things to provide for his needs. David had experienced such amazing kindness from God, and he returned that loving kindness to Mephibosheth and his family. we have also experienced God's amazing loving kindness. He sent his son to enter the world as a baby, to live out the same experience as us all, and then suffer death so that he could defeat death once and for all. Because of God's amazing loving kindness to us, we can be close to him, we can follow Jesus, and we can have the Holy Spirit present in our lives every day. That's amazing loving kindness. And because we've experienced that kindness, we can share that kindness with others in every interaction every day. We can show God's kindness to our bus driver, to our teacher, to the person in the class that maybe others don't talk to, or to our families, and sometimes that one can be tough. And today, I'm going to show God's kindness to others. Why don't you join me? Thanks so much for hanging out, guys. See you again next week.
Quickly turn to the person
Next
to
you
and
discuss
the
following
questions.
Yes.
Question time. In today's story, we learn that David brings close to him a prophet. What was his name? Nicholas, Zechariah, Caleb, Nathan. Nathan told David that when David dies, God will raise up someone from his very own line to take the throne, and that his kingdom and throne would be forever. Who is he referring to? Solomon, Jesus, Nebuchadnezzar, Isaiah. David was overwhelmed by God's kindness to him and wanted to show kindness to anyone in Jonathan's family who was still alive. There was one son remaining. His name was, too hard to say, Ziba, Mephibosheth, Esoliboth.
Okay, so to honor King Saul, David showed kindness to one of his descendants, and that's really cool. But how amazing is it that we can show kindness to someone and they can experience it for themselves?
Absolutely. We can show God's kindness in everyday situations. You could help an elderly person cross the street with their groceries, or give some of your lunch to a classmate who forgot theirs, or let someone borrow your umbrella at the bus stop. Those are all simple, everyday things we could do to show God's kindness to other people.
Yeah.
But we can also show God's kindness when it's difficult and when it takes sacrifice to do so.
Yeah, totally. Well, we have another video to watch. Let's check it out.
In the Bible, we read in the book of Exodus that there was an increase in population of Israelites, and the king of Egypt, Pharaoh, he did not like this. He was very intimidated by this. So as a result, he instructed the Israelites to throw any baby boy into the river at birth. But there was this one Israelite woman who did not want to do that. She loved her son so much. So instead of throwing her son into the river, she placed him in a basket so that she could save his life. And eventually, the Pharaoh's daughter found the baby and called him Moses. Although this may sound like any story, I can actually identify with Moses' story because I was found in a basket as well. My birth mom left a note for me in there, and that note stated where I was born in a field, and my birth date, and what time I was born at in Guangxi, China. For the first few months of my life, I was taken into the orphanage because they obviously found the basket right outside there. And yeah, I spent the first few months before my parents adopted me. So my dad shared with me that when he was in high school, he had a friend who had a little sister adopted from China. And one day, my dad went over to his friend's house and he saw the little girl. And at that point, he knew that he wanted to adopt from China. When my parents got married, soon after they realized that they couldn't have children. Although this was upsetting, my dad actually remembered that story of seeing his friend's little sister, and just remembering that story, it was like the Holy Spirit in him saying, hey, adopt a girl from China. And he brought the information to my mom, and eventually they did adopt me. When I was 2.5 years old, one night when my parents were giving me a bath, something very unusual happened. There was a bump in my neck that popped out when they were cleaning me, and they rushed me right to the hospital, and they discovered that what came out of my neck was actually a tumor. And it was cancerous, and that was when I was diagnosed with neuroblastoma, stage 4 cancer. And that is a cancer that is known as the #1 killing disease for children. So once I was diagnosed with neuroblastoma, I had to stay in the hospital, and I stayed there for about a year. I had lots of treatments such as chemotherapy, radiation, stem cell transplant. I had no idea what was going on. I was too young. As of today, I try to live a healthy, active lifestyle. I am totally cancer-free, which is awesome. I'm very thankful for what the doctors have done for me, and I'm so thankful that God just worked through them to heal me. And now I just try to avoid any of the long-term effects by living a healthy, active lifestyle as much as I possibly can. I love my family very much. We love just chatting and hanging out and walking our dog. And I also have a little sister. Her name is Juliet, and I love her very much. We are 9 years apart, so it's a little tricky at times, but hey, it's worth it. And I just have such a great relationship with my dad and mom, together and individually, which is amazing. I am a student at Redeemer University College. I just finished my first year in digital media production and with a minor in theater arts, and now I'm going into my second year, and I cannot wait. Through my studies, I'm able to be a part of wonderful, amazing projects, and I recently had the opportunity to take part in a video production that shared someone's testimony who came to Christ and is now sharing the gospel to people living on the streets, and I got to play the role of someone living on the street. This past month, I went on my very first missions trip to Tanzania. I wanted to go because I wanted to take a leap of faith, and I wanted to reveal God's kindness and love to those people down there who desperately need it. Looking back on my life right now, I can see how God orchestrated everything in it through His love and kindness and His mercy. And I can see that through how my parents adopted me out of their own kindness, and just seeing the kindness of the doctors and nurses, how they took care of me when I was suffering and in pain. And I want to give back. I want to extend that kindness that was shown to me, because that's who Jesus is, and I want to continue doing so.
Question time. In what ways did Kay experience love and kindness from other people? How can you show God's kindness to people you don't even know?
I can't imagine what it would be like for a parent to have to give up their child. But I think the fact that Kay's birth mother left her so close to the orphanage tells me that she hoped someone else would be able to give Kay a better life than what she could offer her herself.
Yeah, Kay's story is really incredible, and I'm so happy that so many people were pouring into Kay, showing her love and kindness throughout the whole thing to bring her where she is now.
Absolutely, and Kay was adopted by amazing parents, and it's awesome to see what a blessing that they are to one another.
Yeah, and kindness has this ripple effect. All these people have been kind to Kay throughout her life, and now Kay wants to show that kindness to other people. I mean, look at the examples. She's going on missions trips, she's helping make videos to show people Jesus' love. It's amazing. So let's get into our small groups and see what this looks like in our lives.